You're watching Week in One. Now let's go to a small town in the Northern Cape for a story that made many people very angry this past week. A school in Jan Kempdorp has suspended 4 boys after a shocking video emerged. The footage shows a black matric learner being tied to a bed and abused by 4 white boys while other students simply watch. The 4 boys have been accused of sexually assaulting the fellow pupil using a toothbrush and a broom handle. Well, the teenagers are now facing criminal charges and education officials say they could be expelled from the school. Please note, the following story contains graphic images.
The Northern Cape Education Department says it's satisfied with how the Agricultural High School in Jan Kempdorp has handled the case of 4 pupils. The 2 18-year-olds, a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old have not only been suspended, they've also been removed from the school's hostel and will soon face a disciplinary hearing.
Basically, if they are expelled from the school, it then means they cannot register, in any other school, except if there is a reconsideration of their position.
The 4 are accused of sexually assaulting a fellow pupil with a broom and a toothbrush. The victim is currently living with a relative in a nearby town and is receiving counselling. He is expected to return to the school.
The parents have indicated that they have taken a decision that he must go back and finish his grade 12. So based on the feeling of the parents, once the psychologist indicated that he is ready and stable enough to be reintegrated, he will be reintegrated back into the school.
The accused are due to appear in the Jan Kempdorp Magistrates Court again next month. Kimberley.
Well, it's been a tough news week, but on Wednesday we celebrated a very special moment in our history. February the 11th marked 25 years since Nelson Mandela was released from prison. Madiba walked out of Victor Verster prison outside Cape Town, his then wife Winnie Madikizela Mandela at his side. Madiba may now be gone, but we found that memories of that moment are still very much alive for all of us.
And others wept, overjoyed, we danced, we shouted, it was just mixed emotions, but all in all it was wonderful.
This is how Lina Hlajwayo remembers one of the greatest days in the history of South Africa. Nelson Mandela walked to freedom after 27 years behind bars.
We were waiting for them. So while we were watching, and there was the couple. As they were coming out, though we were looking at them through the screen, but it was like they are coming to us. We just stood up and applauded. He walked like royalty.
Millions watched the historical event on their TV screens.
And it was a big thing, and I remember being told, Mandela is coming, is being released.
I imagine there were an awful lot of people then who were worried. They thought, oh my God, the devil's been let out. But of course that didn't happen.
And even though some were too young to remember, the memory of Mandela's release was kept alive by their parents.
They celebrated. They had a wonderful day that time, and a legend was released from prison.
It meant a lot to my mom because, I lost my dad during the struggle. He was murdered on his way back from work. And then to her, it was like, in a way, when she spoke about the day, it was like, oh, finally, we're gonna be free.
After his much anticipated release, Mandela described the welcome that he received as unexpected and breathtaking, saying he was completely overwhelmed by the enthusiasm. Laranzo Temba, Pretoria.
And still with memories, social media has its own way of honouring the past. Throwback Thursday is the day when users put up pictures of key events that have taken place over the years. And with this past Thursday, a big day for Parliament, Nontobeko Specie gave us a blast from the political past.
It's that time of the week when popular social media hashtag Throwback Thursday comes out to play.
We're taking things back, way back. And sharing fondest memories on social media is the order of the day. Search hashtag TBT, hashtag Throwback Thursday, or just simply hashtag Throwback on social media, and voila, there you have it.
A lot of people online, when they're posting, they need something to post about. Often there's not a lot of things happening in their daily lives, yet they can look back at previous examples, in old photos. They want to bring, in some cases, old photos to life to kind of show people. The recent popularity is as a result of celebrities, for example, catching on to this trend.
With sauna so hot on everyone's lips, how's about hashtag throwback sauna? Remember this? And that.
South Africa today undergoes her rebirth.
Late President Nelson Mandela at the very first opening of Parliament. And how about hashtag TBT to President Jacob Zuma before the #1 office, side by side with Thabo Mbeki? And the rest of his 1999 cabinet. Remember these faces? You might just want to look again. And don't forget DA leader Helen Zille breaking stories during her political journalism days, or as MEC of Education. And finally, Premier. How about hashtag throwback to EFF President Julius Malema before hashtag bring back the money? Or better yet, as National President of COSAS. One thing the viral hashtag has proved is the more things change, the more they stay the same. So get nostalgic. Cyril Ramaphosa, Baleka Mbete, in their early days in Parliament, you name it, we'll hashtag it.
So before you get carried away with the TBT hashtag, social media experts have a couple of rule of thumbs they want you to observe. First and foremost, your photo must provide some sort of comical relief. Secondly, it must be a non-digital photo. And then thirdly, of course, it must be posted on a Thursday. Zer.
So there you have it. Nondabego Spisi, up to no good, Johannesburg.
And of course, what would Throwback Thursday be if we didn't get our own anchors and reporters to put up their old pictures? You want to see them? You can go to our website, www.enca.com. And finally, love it or hate it, Valentine's Day is celebrated on the 14th of Feb. The romantics among us noted with concern, though, the rapidly blooming prices of red roses this week. Lovers and secret admirers around the country were scrambling to order flowers for the object of their affection. The high demand for roses saw the price of the popular flower shoot up ahead of the big day.
He loves me not. He loves me. It's a cliche, but it's one that we're likely to use on Valentine's Day. We also know what it means for admirers. A last-minute visit to the flower shop. I think he loves me.
Welcome to Africa's biggest flower market. 300 million flower stems exchange hands here each year. In this flower shop, it's peak season, with a demand for about 500,000 stems this week alone, meaning you'll have to dig deeper if you're planning on buying your sweetheart a bunch of flowers.
For a bunch of roses, normally red roses or any other roses, it's about 50 rand a bunch, 60 rand a bunch. But now they are sky high, like 400 rand a bunch.
These eye-catching blooms are hand-picked at farms around Johannesburg. They'll be delivered not only in South Africa, but also across the borders. But before you start sending those bouquets, ask your florist what each flower means before things get awkward.
White roses means pure. And then yellow roses means you're jealous. Pink represents ladies, and orange is friendly, it's friendship. The reason why we use red and white for Valentine, white is pure. Okay. Then if you mix the two together, it's pure love. Never buy these for someone that you love. These are funeral flowers.
So before you pick up any old bunch from your local supermarket, try to choose blooms that remind you of your Valentine. Nondabego Spisi, Johannesburg.
From chaos in Parliament to the blooming price of love, that is your week in one. Have a great week. Goodbye.